Hi there, everyone. Welcome to today's Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. Today, we're going to be talking about a little bit about just making a promo video for your book or for your course if you've published one on Leanpub. Before we get to that, I'm just going to do the usual first minute of housekeeping. You can find all these tip of the day videos on our YouTube channel at Leanpub, and just look for the playlist Lean Publishing Tip of the Day. You can also find an accompanying blog post for each one of these videos. You can find it on our blog at leanpub.com/blog. If you don't see it, as I always like to say, if you don't see the article that I'm talking about there, you can just click the little magnifying glass at the top in the menu, and then you can search for the keywords like book promo video in this case, and you'll find the article. The reason the articles are good is because you can, if you prefer to sort of read instead of listen or watch, that's what they're there for. But they also have links to helpful things that we refer to in the video, like help center articles and things like that. So yeah, if you like these Leanpub tips of the day, you can also find them if you sign up for our Lean Publishing Daily newsletter. At the top of every one of these tip of the day blog posts, you'll see a little button that you can click to sign up for that. If you go to our homepage at leanpub.com, you'll also find a banner near the top where you can sign up, where you can click a link to sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily newsletter, as well as our other our weekly sale and our monthly sale newsletters, and our author update newsletter as well, which I haven't really talked about yet in these videos. So what we're going to be talking about today is making a book promo video. And at the end, I'll talk a little about how you can apply for Leanpub to record a video for you. So videos are becoming a more and more kind of everyday thing in life online, and in apps and stuff like that. With COVID, for example, video meetings became just a kind of universal thing. Up until then, they've been relatively common and popular, especially with people who were working remotely and things like that. But now basically shooting videos and doing videos like this, for example, is just an everyday part of life for most people. And so one of the things that hopefully it will be available to you to do if you've gone to all the trouble to write a book or self-publish a book on Leanpub is to make a little video to accompany it. This can be as simple as if you've got Zoom, which is one of the more common apps for doing sort of video calls. You can actually just create a new meeting and just don't invite anyone. Hit the record button, and there you are recording an appropriately sized kind of video of yourself, which is just sort of, you can take your time, you can do as many takes as you like, just hit record. You will need, if you do it that way, you will need some kind of video editing thing to sort of cut the beginning and the end off. That's actually not that hard to find. You can find lists of free video editing software. You can find that online if you don't have anything. I like to use something called Camtasia. That's a kind of pro tool. It costs some money, but boy, is it easy to make videos and edit them with Camtasia. There's other things that same company has a tool called Snagit. I'm not sure if they actually have a free version of that. That costs a little bit of money too. But there's different ways that you can find to record videos of yourself on your device. What you're going to want to do in the video is you're going to want to do whatever you like, of course, but you want to think of it as something like somebody's. Well, there's two primary uses for a book promo video. One is someone has gone to your book landing page, you've embedded it there, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then they scroll down and they're like, oh, look, a video, and they click it. And then hopefully you convert them to some paying customer who buys your book. So you want to keep that in mind. This is someone who's, in that case, this is someone who's already gone to your book page. They're already interested. What you're trying to do is get them to buy it. So what I would recommend typically is that you say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'm this video, just introduce yourself and your book title, say what your book is about, and talk a little bit. And I would also recommend that you typically talk a little bit about yourself at the beginning. In my case, it would be, hi, I'm Leanpub, co-founder of Leanpub. I've, got the background in this and that and the other thing. And, as a consequence of that, I decided to write a book. If it's fiction, obviously, it'll be a little bit different. You'll want to talk about, a little bit about the plot and the genre, and maybe create a little bit more excitement than you might for a non-fiction book. A great example of this is this book called The AI Revolution in Book Publishing, published by a book publishing consultant and expert called that named Thad McElroy, who's been on our podcast a couple times, by the way. So if you look at the Leanpub podcast on our YouTube channel, you find a couple of great conversations with Thad. But that here, I won't click play. But that has made a great about the book video called, just the title of the video is the AI Revolution in Book Publishing, about the book. You can see he's got a nice background there, and it doesn't need to be too fancy. It doesn't need to be a studio. He's obviously in a bedroom or an office there with, his sort of computer artfully placed there. You can see the microphone in the foreground, and he's actually obviously used some software to kind of embed his, to sort of like place his book cover image to his left. In the video. That's actually a really good little setup if you can pull off something like that. But if you can't do something like where you're sort of putting the book cover image, if it's just you talking, that's great too. Anything is better than that. Well, for the most part, anything is better than nothing. So it's relatively easy to shoot these days. If you've got video editing software, it's relatively easy to edit them. I highly recommend you take some time to do this if you don't already have an about the book video. Remember, again, I know what it's like to be starting out. If you've never, recorded videos like this, I know what it's like myself. You're going to be nervous. You're going to beat yourself. If you're like me, you're going to beat yourself up for every mistake. But what you do is you just keep going. Try again and again and again. Even the best movie stars sometimes need to take, dozens of takes for short bits of video acting. In this case, you've got all the time in the world. Wait until you've got a good enough one. I would recommend, like, this is a sort of lean thing, it doesn't need to be perfect, but like a good, friendly about the book video by you, doing something I'm not the best at when it comes to these videos, but like looking directly into the camera if you can, and talking about yourself and your book and what it's about. It's okay to look around a little bit, but you want to try and with those kinds of videos, but you want to try and minimize that. That shouldn't be too hard if you were limiting yourself to like 1 or 2 minutes for your video. Once you've got your video created and published, and this is crucial for the way Leanpub currently works, you need to publish it on YouTube. But once it's published on YouTube, and by the way, if you want to keep it, if you don't want it to be publicly available to people who search for it, you can make a video. When you publish a video on YouTube, you can choose to make it unlisted. And so what that means is that only people with the link can find the video. Basically, no one can search for it or find it any other way. So what you can do on Leanpub is you can go to your book's overview page, which if you're a Leanpub author, you're probably familiar with this. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see under the settings, there's a little video link there. And if you go to that page, you'll see that you can edit. Oh, I guess we still support Vimeo. I'm not sure how much longer we'll support that, but the main way to publish videos is YouTube. You publish the little share slug, the thing that comes after youtube.be/. Whenever you publish a video on YouTube, you'll get a little shareable link that you can find. This is the little sequence of letters and numbers that come after that. You put that in the little box, you click update book, and boom, you'll have a great video embedded on your book landing page. It's really that easy. If you want to see how that works, so here's my demo live stream book. If you recorded and published a video on YouTube about your book, just go to your book's landing page, click edit, scroll down, click video, add the end bit of the YouTube sharing URL there, and just click update book, and then you'll have a video showing up on your book landing page in the about the book section. The last thing I wanted to talk about here is that if all of that sounds, if recording, editing, and publishing your own about the book video seems like, probably not daunting, just like, oh, I'd have to learn so much. I'd have to learn YouTube. I'd have to learn this and that to get some video editing software. If that seems like too much, one thing you can do is you can just go to leanpub.com/launch, and you can actually scroll to the bottom there, and you can click a link to go to a form. Oh, we need to verify it's me, etc. But anyway, normally you can just click that link, go to the form, and then you can fill out the form, and you can apply for to do a launch video. What that means is that we get your application. We do read all the applications. We can't accept them all, but we do read them all. And if you don't get accepted, you just won't get a reply. Sorry about that. That's not a kind of ideal thing. but you just won't get a reply. But we do read them all. I can confirm that. If you fill out the form properly, sometimes people don't. If your book looks like it's of good professional quality, if you upload, a kind of professional looking image of yourself, where we ask for that, things like that, then there's a high likelihood, though, that you will get a launch video invitation. It will be from me. What it will include is a Calendly link, and then there will be time slots you can pick, half-hour time slots, and you just pick a time that works for you at that appointed time. And when you accept the invitation, you'll get a Zoom link. And so at the appropriate time, you just click the link to join the Zoom meeting. You do need Zoom. That's what we use for these things. And yeah, at the appropriate time, you and I just have a meeting. I'll just, we'll do a little intro that usually takes, 2 to 5 minutes. Then we record the launch video. That's basically me just going, "Hi, so-and-so, welcome to the Leanpub launch video for your book title. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself and about your book and what it's about and who it's for?" And then you just talk for a couple of minutes. Maybe I'll ask you 1 or 2 questions. One of these videos lasted 1 minute. One of them lasted 40 minutes. that latter part's pretty rare. But the idea is, and the joke I always tell to sort of authors who we do these launch videos with, is it goes against my personal nature to have short conversations. But that is what these launch videos are for. Just give people a short video. When that video is recorded, we publish it on YouTube. We use something called Opus Clip to create those kind of videos where you see short clips of 2 people's faces on top of each other with words bouncing in between. We actually also make a blog post as well. All of this is free. When that's all done and published, then you'll get a link. You'll get an email from me with all the information about what we've done, link to the YouTube video, stuff like that. And at that point, you can go to your book landing page. You can click the edit button. You can go to your book overview page, go to the video page, and add the sharing thing. And then you'll have the launch video embedded on that we recorded and we edited and we produced and we made and published for you. And you can then add it to your book landing page. So if doing all of this yourself seems like too much, please go to leanpub.com/launch. Scroll to the bottom, click the button, click the link, and fill out the form. And then, ideally, you'll then get an email from me at some point inviting you to do a launch video. I'm just going to stop sharing here. So I really like doing these launch videos. I did one just last night with an author in Delaware who wrote, a book about conflict management in the workplace and things like that. It's really great talking to authors from all around the world, getting to hear a little bit about their story, hearing about what their book is about, getting them to talk about it. That's a really great thing. I think we've done about 150 launch videos so far. Don't hold back on applying. And by the way, if you want to do a launch video, either recording it yourself when it comes to launch videos, every time you publish a significant new version of your book, you can apply to do a new launch video. It's not just the first time you publish your book or when you mark your book 100% complete or something like that. You can actually do multiple kind of launches for your book. That's part of the lean publishing process. If you're publishing your book, chapter by chapter, when you add a new chapter, that's like a new book launch. And it's a genuine reason to sort of, tell people about what you've done. I didn't mention it, but the other obvious use for these videos is that you just share them on social media. People love watching videos on social media, whatever they're doing. That's a great way for them to learn about, there's a book. Well, instead of clicking a link to kind of go to a landing page and read it, they can just click a button and watch you talking about your book and about yourself and why you've written it and who the intended audience is and things like that. So I highly recommend that you record and publish a launch video for your book. If you've gone to all that trouble to create it, a launch video is a great, a book video is a really great asset to have. Max is saying, that anything is better than nothing. That reminded him of, I'm just seeing the comments on LinkedIn here that reminded him of something from Silence of the Lambs. And he said, don't get rid of Vimeo. So I just threw in that comment there, Max. We don't really have any plans to get rid of that, I don't think. But I see your vote for keeping it, and I've noted that definitely. So if you're interested in getting the links to everything I talked about here today, you can go to leanpub.com/blog and just search for, the article if you don't see it there. You can also go to our YouTube channel at Leanpub and find the Lean Publishing Tip of the Day playlist there. That's a really useful resource. There's just growing set of videos of me talking about things, but also, of course, with helpful links and stuff like that. If you want to take, 10 minutes out of your weekday to, up your game a little bit in self-publishing, I think these videos are probably a decent resource that I'll get better at in the future. And of course, also you can sign up for the Lean Publishing Daily newsletter if you want to get these in your inbox. I also highly recommend you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a great way for you to discover new books and authors and other videos like this. And we've got explainer videos and stuff like that. But also every time a Leanpub author subscribes, it actually increases our audience count. If everyone in the history of Leanpub who published a book on Leanpub had done that, and we'd been smart enough to be asking about this for all this time, we'd have a much bigger audience on YouTube, which is good for you. Because if you're a Leanpub author, because the bigger our audience there, the more likely you are to be discovered if your book is promoted or one way or another on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching this live stream today.